We out here staying connected. Miss Sherrelle spinning around. What's that about? What's happening?
Not so much.
You must have had a good day or a good week, or things must be going real good for you. Grab a seat.
Life is life, man.
Life is life, and everybody's saying life is life.
Because it is.
What that mean to you?
No.
What life mean? Life is life
These
and mean
aren't
to
good
you?
These benches are not good.
What's wrong with it?
It's at an angle. It's not made for black
Come on.
girls' booty.
Try this one. It ain't made for the black girl booty. It ain't made for yours. Come on.
It's coming up.
Try that one. Okay. Well, stand over here a little bit. In between them.
Okay.
There you go. What's happening? What that mean to you? Life be life.
You never know what's going to happen. You always have to expect the worst and hope for the best.
What's been happening with you? You been having some bad things happen? Or hopefully some good things?
Good things. Good things. My car is fixed.
Is it? Good.
Yeah.
Good.
I made a bad
What was wrong with it?
business deal,
How'd you...
but I had to be accountable for that.
Okay.
I bought my car when I got my
So wait a minute.
taxes.
You said you made a bad business deal. You talking about with the car?
Uh-huh.
Okay. All
I
right.
think so. I feel so.
Why you say that?
Because I bought a car that was $3,500, and then 2 weeks later, my whole brake system went out.
Was you driving?
Through trials and tribulations, I had to get to work.
I mean, was you driving when it went out?
Yes.
And you kept driving afterwards?
No. I
Okay.
parked it
You
and
said
called
I
a
had
mechanic
to.
immediately.
I don't believe you, Sherrelle.
I did.
You've been driving. How they running down there?
Once it went out, it popped. It went pop. I
Yeah.
sped. I couldn't do anything.
What's your caliber?
I made it back to, it was everything.
Yeah.
Everything popped. It was the front and the back. I made it back to my house, and I couldn't even park. It was about to go in the middle of the opening.
How'd you park at your mercy brake?
Yes. Yes.
Thank God it worked.
Thank God that worked. However, I was like, I'm not driving it. I value my life. Maybe before I didn't, but today I do.
You better.
And then I had to spend, I believe God made a way. I was still able to keep my job. I had to pay somebody to use their car, hear their mouth. Sometimes you gotta hear people's mouth.
You already know.
Just so you can get to work.
Yeah, you already know, because they know you're going to use the car to get to work and plus other things you need to do.
Honestly, because I knew how they was coming.
Yeah.
I had to be accountable. Nope, only thing I'm doing is going to work. And if I need to do something else, I'm going to ask you first.
So who fixed your car? You put it in the shop? Or
So the first time,
Uh-oh.
I was upset. I said, no, I ain't going back to the shop that I bought it from. Rule of thumb, I just always was told you don't go get your mechanic done from where you bought your car.
Yeah. Okay. I ain't never
So
heard that, but I hear
then-
you.
And I was mad because the brakes went out 2 weeks. And the person told me it was going to be great, and it wasn't. So I ended up finding someone, going by word of mouth. I thought it was a good experience until the ticket kept going up. Their labor never went up. It was the parts. I had to keep on getting parts. I ended up spending $800 on getting these brakes done, but I needed calipers, rotors,
The whole thing. But you had to have them.
and then when they did everything, it still didn't work.
So what was
Still
that?
didn't work. So then I paid them, and I'm like, dang, I still got to rent out this car. All my money is gone. I done spent $800. My car still ain't working. I had to get it towed to Firestone. And when you get your car towed to Firestone or something big like that, you already know they about to wax you. I'm thinking if this was an $800 job, maybe they'll hit me for $1,200.
Didn't work out that way.
They said $3,500.
Wow.
$3,500. They
How-
said
how'd you make-
somebody put.
How you make that happen?
They said somebody put something other than brake fluid in my lines.
Was it you?
No, it was not.
You didn't.
But I don't
You
know
didn't
if
make that happen, Sherrelle.
But because of how I moved, I don't know if it was the original car lot person.
Okay.
Maybe a person that had the car before he possessed it, and that person messed up the car, but he never knew it was in the brake line. Maybe it was the person that I got to do the brakes. So I said, no, I ain't got $3,500. I'm going to pay for the diagnostics test. Thank you for your business. And I went back to the car lot owner and I gave him my keys. And I was like, I can't do nothing with this. And he was like, where's the car? I was like, I'll get it here. You said you had a tow truck driver, but that person never called. He ended up calling that person. It was about communication. I figure you get more, what do they say? You get more honey with bees. You get more bees with honey.
Something like that. So overall,
I ended up having to pay for my tow, which was $75 more. So paying for my tow from my house, paying for the diagnostic for Firestone, that was $400. So I done already paid $800. Still had to get this. So we at 12. Okay. So to get my car back to the lot, I had to pay another $100, $1,300. Then when it gets there, he's mad at me because he can tell that somebody worked on the car. I'm like, if you would have did it the first time, we wouldn't have had this problem. You're not my only customer, this type of stuff. I'm like, okay, patience. Right. Patience is a virtue. I should have did the whole process differently. But because I didn't do it, and I was just anxious and I wanted to go to work and I wanted to, grind and change my life, I made what is it called? Come on, help me out now.
I mean, no, I'm waiting to hear where you're going with this because I got bigger questions.
I made a
rational decision?
Not a rational decision, an impulsive decision.
An impulsive decision.
Why?
Decision, because you just wanted it done right now.
Because I was tired of asking people for rides and driving other people's cars and not working the type of jobs that I needed to work to get where I was trying to go. I just wanted to get there.
So is your job? You still got your job?
Yes, I do.
I guess you do spending money like that. I was
Hold on, let me tell you though.
Where you getting that money from?
He charged me $600.
Who?
The car lot man, y'all. He charged me $600 because he said he had to undo everybody's work because it's seen the new brake pads and everything, so he knew somebody worked on it and do it the right way. But he got the car working.
Well, I'm glad you rolling. I'm glad you got that off your chest. Now, what the hell else been up with you, man? How you dealing with your mental? Because I know that put some weight on you. You been clean?
Yes.
You ain't seen no rats?
Marijuana. That's what they say, but I don't know.
If I drug test you right now, you'll pass it?
It's a will.
Huh?
It's a will.
You will? Only THC? All right.
But I would like to use my American rights and not be drug tested. So.
Ain't that some shit?
But
what about our pinky lock agreement? But no, seriously, how's your mental, man? You had school is over now. School is over now, right? So now you start to spend more time with the girls?
Well, because they usually do homeschool mines.
Okay.
It's a little bit different. I'm trying to find different programs that they can experience social involvement and things like that teach them life lessons outside of just being in the house.
I get that.
They want to get a job. It's kind of hard for their age group to get a responsible job where people aren't being disrespectful and crazy.
I get that.
So,
but what you doing for you though? How's your mental? You ain't answered the question.
I am.
How's
you
your
asked
mental?
a lot of questions. I try to get there.
Yeah, well, you know the main one I want to. I'm letting you talk.
No, I love the questions though. Bring them.
So how's your mental? How you dealing with all this?
I make sure
that's what I'm concerned about.
I make sure I do my counseling. I try to eat healthy. I make sure I do my self-care, my self-love. If I have a really, really hard day, I know I'm supposed to shut down. Yeah. As far as when I say shut down, I'm not answering questions once I'm off work unless it's an emergency.
Right.
Like my pain is no one's entertainment. So if I don't feel like talking about it, it's just not the time. Because sometimes people try to pry.
Have you had any peer pressure come at you any kind of way lately?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. What that look like? Who did that? I mean, because did you catch yourself?
So peer pressure. I had somebody ask me if I wanted an X pill. I ain't rocking with it because of what I do for my self-love. That was a female.
Yeah.
But because what I do for my self-care, like sometimes I'll use my food stamps and go to Sam's Club and get the kids bulk healthy stuff. So I'm detoxing and eating a certain type of way. So my body feels different. So if I were to take something like that, it would trip me on a whole different level. And it would just deplete and just kind of reverse, I feel like, what all the other good stuff that I'm doing. Yeah. So I don't think it's worth it.
That's good, man.
But I do have B complex vitamins.
So you
I
are
like the gummies.
you are channeling things.
Yeah.
Okay, but you're doing the gummies, the THC gummies.
No, I get the, what is it, Spring Valley?
What's that for?
For
sleeping
vitamins. So
vitamins?
B complex, B.
What you doing to sleep, man?
What do I do to sleep?
Yeah,
now I get medicine from my doctor.
Okay, because I knew you had trouble with that.
I get medicine from my doctor, and I meditate sometimes. Sometimes I have to write. Sometimes I'll read. I have glasses of wine every once in a while, but not too often.
Yeah.
Like if I have really, really hard days, and I just feel like, but sometimes I won't, and I'll push through that pain and be like, I don't know.
Are the girls starting to ask you questions about things or interested in drinking and stuff like that?
They've always asked questions, but we just have open dialogue. They've seen some ugly things in our family, so I seen a video.
Have you had a problem with either one of them sampling
alcohol and stuff?
weed or anything?
No.
You have. You took your time to think.
Not too much about it.
Yeah.
I had a problem where I thought the group that she was hanging around was, so I kind of re-isolated her. And that's where kind of the homeschool thing came in, so I could have more control over like how her group and all of that stuff is.
And what's she doing?
And yeah, like I could pay more attention.
Check her phone?
Sometimes.
I mean, you being a mom and a friend, I get it. I ain't saying you need to be all over. I'm trying to see how you moving with your girls, because you are the example. And everything that you have done, even the stuff that you got through, they've always watched you.
Yeah.
And you know me, I sit back and I pay attention to body language, demeanor, and action.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I learned through that. So me knowing you and paying attention to you, especially when I'm around you, I read your language versus what you're telling me. So I got to ask those questions. Because your kids are conducive to your tomorrow. They watching you.
I take them to work with me sometimes. That's healthy. They see how busy I am. We change lives. And
let them get to see the business side of life. They ain't just closed up.
And the social services of it all, like dealing with senior citizens and dealing with people that are just going through life. So you never know what's going to happen.
Okay.
And they get to see a lot. By the time, if I do that for a whole week, they're usually tired. I'm used to it because this is what I do. But they're not used to it. They're used to going to school, sitting down, reading and writing, and it just changes it. They got to feed the homeless the other day. I kind of like try to.
So you've been keeping them. So next time I throw a project, you gonna bring them out?
Yeah.
Let the girls be
involved. You gotta give me a call. I'm not gonna promise to anything until I know for sure. Yeah, because you will call me out.
That ain't been too good with you. I had to catch you on the humble. This whole nother talk show. We ain't finna put that on you today. Matter of fact, we finna cut this short because it's over. Go ahead and leave somebody with something good before we get up out of here, Sherrelle. It's good to see you though, baby. You hear me? And I'm proud of you. I believe in you and I trust in you. I see your language. You understand what I'm saying? I'm reading some things, but we'll deal with that in the future. But I know you're doing better. You're definitely not where you were.
Aww.
And I can take that. You hear me? What you got to say to them? Talk to the young girls real quick.
Just try to have a good day. Don't let nobody steal your peace.
All right. Y'all heard that from Sherrelle. We are here staying connected. Let's go.